Actually, one of the best parts of homeschooling is that we don't have to do that. We're not required to do that. Hey friends, good morning. If you're watching this in the morning, it's morning for me right now. I thought today we would talk about schedules because I get the schedule question quite a bit, especially from newer homeschoolers. So if you are a newer homeschooler, you are in the right place right now. So a lot of times when we start homeschooling, we have to figure out what pattern of days that we homeschool are going to be. And there's a lot of different routes that you can take with this, and there's a lot of different schedules that you can take. But it always surprises me that people are shocked when I say that I don't follow the local school district's calendar. I don't know why. Maybe it's because a lot of newer homeschoolers don't realize that you don't have to do that. Yeah, that is absolutely not required. Actually, one of the best parts of homeschooling is that we don't have to do that. We're not required to do that. I know a lot of people who make up their own completely different from everybody else schedule. That's totally okay. We do that. It actually works out a lot better for my family because I have a chronic illness that I deal with and that I battle, and sometimes days just pop up where I just can't school, or I have to have a day off. Like my brain cannot function because of my pain level or whatever. That actually happened to me this last Monday. I had to totally take a day off. Now that doesn't happen like very often. It has to be like extremely bad for that. But I did have to take Monday off because when I woke up, I could barely see straight. It was so bad. And I just could not deal with school that day. So I just told the kids, just take the day off. I can't deal. So, it's great for days like that. It's great for family vacations. It's great for just flip-flopping, really. I like to actually do school when the district is not in school, because that means that our days off, they are in school and there's nobody at all the places that I like to frequent. So if we want to take a field trip somewhere, there's nobody there. There's no school buses at any of the educational places. There's like nobody there except for, the senior citizens. So that makes my life so much easier, and it's like going to an amusement park and not having to wait in line. It's fantastic. You should try it if you haven't yet. Anyway, so no, you do not have to follow the district. Now, what I do recommend that you do is when you start homeschooling, check out wherever you happen to be, whatever your state is in, over at HSLDA. And the Homeschool Legal Defense Association will have every single state in the US. They might even have other countries. I'm not sure. For those of you who are watching me who are out of the country, I don't know what your country is going to regulate as far as homeschooling and what those regulations will be. It might be on HSLDA. I'm not sure. You'd have to go check. But for all of us within the United States, there is a map. You just click on your state and they will have the requirements. Now, because I don't have all of the states memorized and what everybody's regulation is, I do recommend that you go on to HSLDA and check out your regulations for that. You more than likely, and most states will be like this in the US, most states will have like a certain amount of days that you have to be in school for. Like it's usually around 180 days. That's usually the typical amount of days that you need to have like in school, on books, attendance taken, that type of thing. And you do with the records whatever they want you to do with them. That's what I do here. I actually have a cover school, so my kids actually attend a private school, but they're homeschooled. It's really weird the way that it works, but it actually worked out better because we are a military family. We hopped around a lot in the first couple years of homeschooling, and because of that, we have records for a bunch of different states. So it actually makes it easier if our cover school handles the record side of it, and that way it doesn't look goofy when we go, you know, get our diplomas ready and things like that, and everything is all in one place. I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to think about it. I just have to call up their cover school and be like, hey, it's time, you know, 12th grade, and they take care of it for me. It's wonderful. I love them. And no, I don't give out the information of the cover school that we use because there are some weird people on the internet and my name is out there, and it's just, sorry guys, I do not give out private information like that, especially on my kids, over the internet. But there are private schools and cover schools out there that you can check out that are within the United States that you can, if you're interested in something like that. Now, I have requirements for both my cover school and my state. Luckily, they are pretty close to each other as far as like graduation requirements and things like that, so I don't really have to worry about that. But I do not follow my county's school calendar. No, that absolutely does not happen, and it doesn't need to. And one of the best parts about homeschooling is that you don't have to do that. It is not required. So if you are trying to figure out what schedule to use, there are tons of different ways that you can do this. I've seen Sabbath schooling, and actually we did that for a while, which is 6 weeks on, 1 week off. There is year-round schooling that you can do. I've done that one as well. I actually really liked that one when I was a work-at-home mom and I had a home business. Like this room right here was my actual like business office, and the kids actually did school at the kitchen table, which was not my favorite setup, but you know, space requirements, you know, it actually forced us into that situation. But now that I don't do that anymore and I'm just doing YouTube here, it makes it a lot easier on me and the kids, and we have this nice space. But we were doing year-round schooling back then. I really enjoyed it. I thought that it was fantastic for somebody who works at home or who does actually work. Year-round schooling makes it a lot easier to do things like that. It was fantastic. Now that the kids are older, they have asked for a more traditional type of schooling, which is fine. I'm totally cool with that. They enjoy it. They want a traditional summer for whatever reason. I don't really care as long as they're happy. So we school, but we have like those breaks. So we do like a fall break and a Christmas break and a spring break. But we typically school through 180 days, and then they have their typical summer, like what most people would consider like a more closely aligned summer to the county. But we don't take breaks when they do. I don't even know when they start school and when they stop. We don't take our fall and winter and spring breaks or in the same weeks. I don't even know their calendar, so I just kind of wing it, and I just keep an eye on the calendar and keep a running tab of how many days we've been schooling each month, so I know about where we are. And I know, like I've done this long enough to where I know in my head how many days I should have by, you know, what months. So it's pretty easy for me to keep track of stuff like that. Anyway, I wanted to make this video because I do get asked a lot about scheduling. This is just a really like off the cuff type of video where we just kind of chat about things. I like videos like that where we can just, you know, kind of have a little bit of dialogue, but it's not like a formal, you know, bullet point type video that I normally do, that you normally see on my channel, but it's kind of just like a chatty video. So I would love to know down in the comments, what kind of schedule do you keep? Do you keep the schedule for the county that you're in, or do you do more of a off the cuff, we just, you know, kind of wing it schedule like me? Every year it seems like we end at a different point, but it's usually around the same time. I usually end between April and May, depending on what happened. Like last year when my son was in the hospital for several weeks, we ended late because things were like bananas crazy. So we ended up schooling for an extra couple of weeks longer than we typically do, but we still had a normal typical summer, and we didn't end up starting late. It actually worked out pretty good. I was really surprised at how well it really kind of balanced out. The kids still had, you know, a regular summer, and, you know, got to do all the regular summer things, and we started right back up in the fall. I mean, it all worked itself out. So I was not disappointed with that at all. Everything worked out really great. So, you know, and there's other years that we finish like super early for whatever reason, and then I have to figure out what to do. So, you know, either way, it all kind of balances out. Sometimes I'll start the school year early, so sometimes I'll actually start the school year in July, and, you know, then we can take more breaks throughout the year, and that works out really well too. That's a really cool thing to do, is kind of start a little bit while it's still summer, like in July, because I'm in the Carolinas. It's super hot here. And it's not like we go outside a whole lot in July or August anyway. It's just too hot. It's even too hot to swim sometimes out here. So, you know, a lot of times we start school early while it's still blistering hot outside, and then take a little bit longer of a fall break and, you know, enjoy the nice weather and go do things. So, you know, there's so many different things that you can do, and you can just be creative with your schedule. All right, guys, I will see you in the next video. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and happy homeschooling.